Coach and I are so proud of you, and we've loved hearing about your progress through the program thus far. As you join this training, please go ahead and use the chat feature below. Tell me your biggest non-scale victory thus far through the fast way to fat loss. Again, as you are joining this training, go ahead and use the chat feature below. Tell me your biggest non-scale victory thus far through the fast way to fat loss. You'll see in the comments that we have clients who are feeling more energized. Many of you are less bloated. I've heard from several who are sleeping better. I love to hear those wins on Fridays, but let's go ahead and rejoice in the non-scale victories even this morning as we go through this training. My goal on the training today is to share with you the fast way to fat loss food cycle and educate you regarding the why behind the how with our carb cycle. You've been implementing intermittent fasting over the past few weeks and doing absolutely fantastic with that particular strategy. You've also been eliminating processed foods and focusing on whole food nutrition with a gluten-free and dairy-free food log. Last week, you learned about why we need carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. You also set up your profile in the app and you started to log your food. Well, this week, we are going to learn about the fast way to fat loss food cycle, and I will share with you why it's so highly effective when we pair it with our strategic workouts. Hopefully by now you've been enjoying the workouts we're doing together as a community. And again, we have tens of thousands of clients all over the country, all over the globe who are doing the fast way to fat loss workouts together. We are going to dive into the carb cycling process. Here's the deal. Through the fast way to fat loss, we engage in low carb macro days in addition to regular macro days, okay? Low carb macro days in addition to regular macro days. Here's what it typically looks like as you go through the fast way to fat loss, with a very occasional exception. Monday and Tuesday of each week is a low carb macro day, and I'll share a little bit more about the details of that. Wednesday through Sunday is a regular macro day. We also add the occasional 24-hour fast, and I'll be sharing with you about the 24-hour fast in the coming weeks. On a low carb macro day, our goal is to consume less than 50 grams of net carbs. Net carbs are the total carbs you consume, those total carbohydrate grams, minus your fiber, and that equals your net carbs. So again, total carbohydrate grams minus your fiber, and that equals your net carbs. On Monday and Tuesday of this week, next week, and all of the weeks to follow, we will do a low carb macro day, less than 50 grams of net carbs. The purpose is to deplete our glycogen stores so we can effectively burn fat or triglycerides for fuel. Last week, I spoke about the importance of carbohydrates, and I mentioned how when we consume carbohydrates, our body transitions it into glucose and stores that as glycogen in our muscles. Well, that is the first fuel source that we use when we are in movement. In order to effectively burn fat, however, we actually want to deplete our glycogen stores so we can burn those triglycerides while we're in movement. And here's how we're going to do it. We are going to transition our bodies from being a sugar burner, where we're consistently burning off glycogen, to now becoming a fat burner by implementing intermittent fasting paired with a low carb macro day in addition to our high intensity interval workouts. All right, here's the why behind the how with that. When we do intermittent fasting and give our bodies a longer period of digestive rest, we are already one step toward depleting our glycogen stores because we didn't immediately break our fast in the morning with a very carb heavy meal. Okay, we're not simply breaking our fast at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning with some oatmeal or with some cereal. We are skipping breakfast, okay? So we have not broken our fast. We are still at digestive rest. We have not given our bodies more carbohydrates. We are going to do the 16-8 intermittent fasting protocol on Monday and Tuesday. We're also going to focus on consuming less than 50 grams of net carbs, which means that we're not filling our body with glucose so that our bodies can then store the glucose as glycogen in our muscles, okay? In addition to this, we are doing a high intensity interval workout. You've been doing the workouts with us. We're doing Tabata workouts. We're doing some progressive HIIT circuits as we go through the next few Mondays. On Tuesdays, we often sprint together as a community. When we do high intensity intervals, when we get the heart rate up, when we do this muscle building cardio, when we do the fat burning cardio, we are depleting our glycogen stores so we can effectively burn fat for fuel. Because listen, your body needs fuel, okay, to get through a workout. And if we've already depleted glycogen because we're not consuming carbs in the morning, in fact, we're skipping breakfast, we're then adding in this intense workout. When we deplete glycogen, then we have the opportunity to dip into our fat stores. Many of you have come to me after years of eating mini meals, okay? Eating mini meals, focusing on carbohydrates. You haven't really tracked your carbohydrates, so you're not sure if you're having 85% of your overall macros are carbohydrates you don't even know. So if you haven't given your body a chance to really dip into the fat stores, that's another reason that you've had some problems or some issues burning fat. So that changes through the Fast Away to Fat Loss. We are going to do a low carb macro day on Monday and Tuesday. We're going to pair those low carb macro days strategically with a high intensity interval workout, this Tabata workout, this sprint workout. You are going to feel the fat melting off your body. Post in the comments below, let your certified coach and I know if you're excited about seeing or feeling that fat melt off your body. Here's the deal. We cannot simply do low carb macro days each day, every week, all month, each year. We want to also consume carbs at the right time for the right reasons. You heard me say last week, our bodies need carbs. We need carbs for energy. We want to balance our hormones. Many of you who came from an extreme low carb diet lifestyle felt fantastic through the first few weeks, okay? First 4 weeks, first 5 weeks felt fantastic. Energy was high, no brain fog, but unfortunately, you hit a wall. Okay, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've done an extreme low carb diet, call it Atkins, call it keto, call it whatever you want. If you've done an extreme low carb diet lifestyle, you know that at some point you're gonna hit a wall, okay? It's not sustainable long term. Enter the Fast Away to Fat Loss, where we leverage carb depletion strategies, okay? We leverage keto strategies on Monday, Tuesday, and there are many, many benefits, numerous benefits to these strategies. But then we also balance this with some higher carb days, okay? So Wednesday through Sunday, we are going to do higher carb days. And in the Fast Away to Fat Loss, we call these higher carb days regular macro days. And you heard me talk about this last week in regard to a percentage breakdown. 45% of your overall macros Wednesday through Sunday are going to be carbohydrates. 25% will be protein at minimum. 30% will be fats, okay? Really important that we are consuming enough carbohydrates. And on these higher carb days, on these regular macro days, we are going to do strength training. On Wednesday, we do a total body workout. I still get you in and out within 30 minutes, but we are going to engage our lower body and upper body through the strength training workout. Thursday, we're going to do a back day. Back, biceps, triceps. This is the second most important day of the week, okay? Back day is absolutely vital. Be sure that you are crushing it. Be sure you are challenging yourself with heavy weights on back day. In addition to back day, we are going to do a leg day on Saturday, which is the most important day and my favorite day of the week because our legs, our lower body, is the biggest muscle group. And when we work our legs, we have the opportunity to develop lean muscle, which will only help, it will only maximize or optimize our metabolism long term. On our regular macro days, again, we consume a good bit of carbohydrates. You will be ready for carbohydrates on Wednesday after doing 2 low-carb macro days on Monday, Tuesday. You're gonna want all the fruit. You're gonna want a sweet potato. You're gonna want some gluten-free oatmeal. It is positive to consume enough carbohydrates on these regular macro days. Another important note as we go through the week and as you consider our food cycle is that we will rest 2 days per week. But here's the deal. Although we are resting on Friday and Sunday, we are still going to consume regular macros, okay? Although we are resting from workouts, we are still gonna consume 45% overall macros or carbs, 25% is protein, and 30% is fats. And here's why. Our bodies need to recover, repair, rebuild, but we can't build muscle if we're not hitting those macro minimums. If we eliminate macros, if we drop our calories significantly, we won't be able to build muscle. This is a huge misconception, a huge confusion in the marketplace. On rest days, many times women are saying, well, I'm not working out today, so I'm gonna eat very little. Unfortunately, if you enjoyed a very heavy lift the day before, you're actually hurting your progress, okay? You're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not consuming enough of the right macronutrients, even on our rest or active recovery days. One more quick note, but this is very fun. On Saturdays, as you've heard me talk about in the workouts, we are going to enjoy our favorite treats. We believe in balance through the Fast Way to Fat Loss. Amanda Tresson, your certified coach, would never recommend a program that doesn't involve some of your favorite treats. We consume our favorite treats on Saturday, which is leg day, with intention, okay? And without guilt. I want you to enjoy every last bite of that donut, or every last bite of your pizza, or the pastry that you choose, okay? We are going to enjoy our favorite treat post-workout on Saturday. We do this together as a Fast Way to Fat Loss community. You will see thousands of clients all over social media posting photos of their favorite treats. Enjoy that treat, and again, no guilt, because we have a method to the madness. In fact, fat loss is all about the insulin response. So if I'm being completely honest with you, there is little downside to having a donut post leg day, because we do want to replenish your glycogen stores after a very heavy lift. Okay, guys, one final ask. I would love for you to please fill out the feedback form that we post in your small community group and that you also can find on the portal this week. I personally read through each and every piece of feedback. We want to consistently improve the Fast Way to Fat Loss. We are continually making improvements and iterations so that you can have an incredible experience, because at the end of the day, my passion and the passion of your certified coach is to empower you to thrive. We are highly motivated to help you get well, prevent disease, and fulfill your purpose. We want you to say the Fast Way to Fat Loss is the final investment I've had to make in my health and wellness, because it's so fantastic. And finally, something has worked. So please fill out that feedback form. We would love to hear about your wins, what you love about the program, but also your suggestions for us as we move forward through the Fast Way to Fat Loss. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let's crush our week ahead. We're gonna focus on our food cycle. We're gonna continue to track our macros. We're going to implement intermittent fasting, focus on whole foods, and enjoy the workouts together. Bye, everyone.